What's up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen the titles going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So this is what a lot of you have a lot of complaining about. They'll continue to complain, but I got something to say. Before I got something to say, I should say, you got Jaya Paul, I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name, the representative, says under Trump. This is what she posted. Inflation has reached three-year high with soaring gas and grocery prices. At least $29 billion of your taxpayer dollars have gone to support senseless, unlawful war of choice in Iran, while Republicans slash healthcare and energy assistance. He wants to spend another $1 billion of taxpayer dollars on his bloated ballroom and $70 billion on it. Okay, let me start here. First thing I'm gonna say is, again, what I find interesting, and this is gonna bring us into what the view is saying. What I find crazy about a lot of this is that, first off, like I said in my last video, where was all this energy with the last administration, seeing how things were? Like I find that crazy that so many people are boosting this up, seeing how things are. I feel like it's one of those things. Trust the process. Trust the process. And I'll play a clip for y'all. When it comes down, to obviously the war and this, that, and the other, obviously things will calm down. Honestly, things will calm down. But the simple thing is, if you're constantly, I'm gonna say it. If you're constantly having, individuals, they saying with the nuclear weapon and saying this about America, saying that about America, and they gonna do this and they gonna do that. Like I'm highly confused about a lot. And then for her to say, you sit there and it's another $1 billion on taxpayer dollars on a ballroom, that's not true at all. It's said I don't know how many times you have to say it, but you're not paying for that. You're not paying for the ballroom. I'm telling y'all, this is when it comes down to the lies. It truly comes down to the lies. And then say $70 billion on and out of control ICE and CBP. Let me tell y'all something about that. That's something, me personally, I feel like is needed. Seeing how bad things are. My thing is, why do they have so much talk about ICE and about this and about that, but they never have talk about the lives that were took by a lot of individuals that obviously are illegal aliens? That's what I have a big problem with. I truly have a big problem with. You have it right here. President Trump says gas prices will drop. They will drop. I'm going to just play the video for y'all. Check it out.
We're going to do whatever is necessary. And as soon as this war is over, which will not be long, you're going to see oil prices drop, and you're going to see a stock market, which is already at the highest point in history, go through the roof. You're going to see the golden age of America, frankly, and you're seeing it now. So as soon as this is over, don't forget, you have hundreds of ships that are loaded up with oil that want to come out. As soon as they come out, we're going to have a gusher of oil, and you're going to have inflation that goes way down. Now, with all of this, inflation is much lower than it was under Biden. Biden had the highest inflation in the history of our country. Inflation is nothing by comparison, but our inflation is just short term. Because if you go from just before the war, we were for the last 3 months 1.7%. And now what you have is, as soon as this war is over, you're going to see inflation go down to probably 1.5%.
So my thing is, regardless, and this, I'm going to say this, and I don't want to make too many people mad when I say this, but it's true. Regardless of things cutting down, rather if it's grocery prices, gas price, anything, when things do, because I know that they are, when things definitely calm down, I know for a fact they're going to move on to the next thing. Like I've stated multiple times, President Trump can do an amazing thing any time of the day, and they're going to have something to say. And if they don't say something about that thing, because a lot of times, even though it's a great thing, they may not say anything about it. They'll go on the next thing and they'll complain. My thing is, when it came to the Biden administration, nobody complained whatsoever. They made everything look like it's good. And that's where people get so much when it comes to brainwashing, not understanding what's completely going on. And it bothers me a lot. Check it out. The View,
about
ready for their lives.
news to you because it's just we want to bring you good stuff occasionally, but this just is not getting better. Bleak news about the U.S. economy. It just keeps piling up. Inflation is at a 3-year high. Paychecks are shrinking, and the war in Iran is costing Americans from the gas pump to the grocery store. But here's what you know who said when he was asked about it yesterday. Take a look.
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation.
And he's a billionaire.
You see how quick they cut off the video? That's things that they do. They're very quick with doing that. They'll take a clip, and that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if y'all caught a lot of times that I'll say a lot of my videos. I know a lot of people watch, every video. It's some of y'all out there, but some of y'all that don't, and y'all haven't caught me when I said it, is that is what exactly what I'm talking about. They will take a clip that President Trump will say. They'll take a clip from anybody, and they'll put it online for others to see. Rather, if you're not really into it, in the political, anything political, whether you're a Democrat or independent, and they'll see that, and they'll run with it. They'll run with it. Or their family member, a friend, they'll post it. And then they'll see that and be like, oh, he don't care about Americans' financials. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all seen the video that I just posted. Y'all seen the video that I posted and I played for y'all. And he literally said things will come down. We dealing with this and getting this together, just like every other thing he done had to clean up from the Biden administration. But people don't see that. They see stuff like this with people playing these clips. And then they'll put that clip somewhere. And I'm telling y'all, that's stuff they do.
Obviously doesn't give a damn about Americans.
See what I mean?
Care
Stuff
about
like this.
working class people, whether they voted for him or not.
I don't see how he has time to think about the financial prospects of the American working class when he's spending all of his time thinking about how to enrich himself.
President Trump's been president for a year and a half now, so it's his economy, even though he inherited a bad one from the Biden administration with respect to rising prices and inflation.
I wish y'all would stop that. This is his economy.
Really?
Sure is. This is his economy. And let's quit it. I mean, you wanted Joe Biden gone, he's gone. Now, grow a pair.
Now it's that. Now it's that. And that's truly what I don't get. Now she's saying grow a pair. Because you got the Biden administration that then completely messed everything up, especially that last run. When we did all them videos on that last run, what they had going on and what they were doing, I'm telling y'all, made everything completely worse. But you know what? People always talking about these distractions, this, that, and the other. Now y'all got distracted for what they was doing. I don't see it. Now it's that though. That's what's crazy, Whoopi. I truly,
this
that's
is
wild.
your economy.
Well, and the inflation is at a
They now is looking for a finger, to point at because of the mess ups that Biden administration had.
I am high. It's worse than 3-year high. The consumer price index rose 3.8% in the last 12 months. So he ran on the backs of people that were told, I'm going to make life more affordable. I'm going to help you. And they came out in droves. And this is what he does to thank him. The truest thing he may have said ever in his life, I've never heard him be so honest. I literally don't think about the American
now
people.
He's at the point in his mental disorders that he is now speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Okay? And what's really depressing is, because I always liked Bill Clinton. I thought we went from I feel your pain to so what, who cares?
Yeah.
That's basically what this guy is saying to the American people and to his own cult who voted for him based on that fact that he was going to fix the prices, he was going to fix the incomes, he was going to fix the inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's done nothing. And by the way, he hasn't done much in Iran either. I mean, they're at the same place they were before he started this. So shut up and stop lying.
Well, I think that's what's most disconcerting, because he was asked that question about the Iranian
talks, right, about a ceasefire. And the New York Times just reported, I think yesterday, that Iran actually has retained 70% of its pre-war missile stockpile and 30 of its 33 missile sites along the Strait of Hormuz. We get into this illegal, unconstitutional war by choice, by the president's choice, and we have not obliterated their nuclear capability at all, and it's cost us $29 billion. And when I say us, I mean U.S. taxpayers, us. For nothing.
Well, and the thing is,
people have died.
But that's the thing, and that's what I had, in my notes, that I wanted to talk about, because I find it crazy that they talk about this and take that route, but what they're not looking at is the simple fact that you talking about what Sonny said, what 29 billion. They always want to bring up money. That's the thing with me. They always want to bring up money. And saying, this is your money, these are your dollars, and then Sonny got to make these faces to be dramatic about it, because that's what she does, so people can sit there and be like, that definitely is horrible, and that's true, Sonny. That's what she wants. Obviously, she's fake. I mean, you see straight through her. But the thing is that she's talking about all this money that taxpayers is. We're not going to talk about all the fraud that's going on. Like, this is stuff that I'm talking about. Like, don't talk about one thing and then not mention the others. They have not mentioned not one time. Y'all know that I don't really stay on top of The View, but I do a lot of, when it comes to these discussions, when it comes down to The View, and I've never seen them actually talk about the fraud that's going on, because they don't care about that. Their main agenda is to talk about President Trump. That's it.
About Iran not having a nuclear weapon, and we can all agree that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. But you have to, as president, be able to hold multiple thoughts at once. And more Americans are impacted by their economic situation, their inability to, make summer plans because of gas prices, because of food prices. You have to put that first. That feels more urgent to most Americans than Iran's nuclear capabilities. But I want to say, with Trump, he can say things that any other politician, it would tank their career. I could just picture the ads if anyone else said this. And people kind of chalk it up to he just spouts off and says things and they let it go. So my caution to Democrats is, sure, put it in an ad, but you guys cannot just run against Donald Trump. You have to run on, this is our agenda for the American people. This is how we're going to do it.
In previous economies, when Democrats
were in charge, because the economy is changing. We need better. We need new ideas.
We did not have a deficit. We had a surplus.
But Bill Clinton actually balanced the budget.
See how you have so many, and again, Alyssa flip-flops. But when it comes down to what she's saying and what they're doing, your main agenda shouldn't be going against Trump. Or not, obviously going to go against Trump, but going at Trump the whole time. Going at Trump, going at Trump, going at Trump. That's not, what they need to do is focus on what they need to focus on and do what they need to do. They're not doing none of that. They're not doing nothing but complaining and firing up people to cause a lot of violence. And it's truly not, I'm telling you, that's all uncalled for.
35 years ago, guys, the economy is massively changing.
Here's what I'm going to put in here. Some things that he didn't seem to care about. He didn't care about Americans' health care when he left the Affordable Care Act subsidies expire. He didn't care about American safety when he delayed payment to TSA agents over 40 days. He didn't care about his own supporters' pleas for no more wars when he went into Iran. And now he doesn't care that America...
They just point the finger. They just point the finger. This all reads Democrats.
Americans can't afford to feed their families. Listen, nobody wants anybody to have nuclear weapons. I wish none of them had it, but everybody seems to have one. Everybody's got a nuclear weapon.
That's crazy.
Fortunately for us, no one has pressed the button.
Well, we did.
Well, we pressed the button once.
But that's the thing. Let me go back to what she said right here, because I had to make sure this is actually in my notes so I can catch it at the right time.
None of them had it, but everybody seems to have one. Everybody's got a nuclear weapon. Fortunately for us, no one has pressed the button.
Well, we did.
Well, we pressed the button once.
And we're the only country that has ever used a nuclear weapon.
Because nuclear deterrence actually does work.
Well, and so this idea, stop messing with people and trying to drive people and force them to believe as you believe and do what you want them to do. This idea of saying, listen, we want to do this peacefully. That's why I get freaked out by Pete Hegseth.
Why? But the thing is why do they keep what? This right here goes to show y'all that not only do they not care about Americans, and they're more on side and siding with Iran. I mean, if you wanna be 100, this is exactly why I will continue to say, and I know y'all will continue to say, when you have dodged a bullet when it comes down to Kamala Harris, because this is exactly what you get. Why can't we just we be peaceful and we talk peace and I'm not saying to just go out there and just not be peaceful, but that's what those negotiations are for. That's what because you have to be on I ain't gonna say same level, because y'all know when it comes to America, but I'm saying like to have things the right way, I should say. But seeing them is more so Whoopi don't know what she's talking about, nor does she know what she's doing. And that's exactly why she has never been president and never will be.
And one important thing is that, like you said, no one wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
But
maybe we don't do the ballroom in the reflecting pool right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like maybe we equal out and not make millions.
But that's what they're not getting. They're not. You don't have to pay for it. I don't have to pay for it, and they don't have to pay for it. So how are they gonna make a decision on something that they don't have to pay for? That don't make sense to me.
In the redecorating process, while also the war.
And then they keep on talking about a redecorating process. Again, they're not paying for it. And again, there's other presidents that didn't redecorate it and did this and did that. That taxpayers actually had to pay for.
The point is that the status quo isn't working for Americans with Trump in the picture, but you cannot make Trump the only thing that's wrong in this
I agree
nation.
with that.
We need leaders with some vision
but
for
this
how
is
to
the
actually
thing.
address the future.
See how you have Sarah Haynes that literally said, I agree. And as you hear Whoopi, she's making up more excuses.
With some
Yeah,
vision
but
for
this
how
is
to
the
actually
thing.
address the future.
We had some suggestions for people who had ideas to be different, to do it differently, and people did not want it at the time. That's why he got in a second time.
Right.
He got in with no ideas.
Obviously, he got in with a lot of ideas, seeing how people actually voted for him and won by a landslide. So when you sit there and they continue to make excuses and make excuses and make excuses and make excuses, this is what the American people want. This is what they will continue to want, is for President Trump to keep doing what he's doing, because again, these are things that have to be fixed and situated before, obviously it gets good. Seeing, again, not trying to point fingers, but having the Biden administration doing what they did. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.